All right, so you read the title right. Let's get right to the point of the video. The traditional 9 to 5 job is dead in the water, and these jobs are not worth a fuck. More and more people are starting to realize this, especially since 2020, after the pandemic. But if I were to just leave it at that, this video would be too simplistic. It wouldn't do the video justice, and quite honestly, it'll be a waste of both of our fucking times. So, with that being said, I want to put into perspective just exactly how much of a waste of time these jobs are and how they're stealing your life away from you. So, you think right now that you work 9 to 5, 5 days a week. That couldn't be further from the truth. 40 hours a week, you think you work. You're actually working about 7 to 7. The time you spend waking up, getting dressed, getting ready, commuting, waiting in traffic, and then the commute back home, plus the time you gotta take to wind down and decompress and undress and all that other bullshit from work. Those are extra unpaid hours dedicated to a job that's already underpaying you and overworking you. So you're realistically working about 60 hours a week at a minimum. At a minimum. Keep in mind though, keep in keep in mind that's only accounting for a typical 8-hour shift. If you're working 10 to 12 hours, this is far worse for you. Now I want to get into how your job's overpaying you and now I want to get into how your job's underpaying you and overworking you. So imagine this: you work at a busy restaurant or factory. During your 8 hours of work, you and your coworkers are producing thousands of dollars worth of profit for this company 5 days per week. Then payday comes. Your paycheck is just enough to cover one bill. That's maybe your rent and utilities. Maybe. And guess what? Just 3 days from then, your car insurance payment is due, and you've already used most, if not all, of your check for rent. Basic human necessity, mind you. You don't get paid for another 2 weeks, and you're at a point where you're now choosing between incurring a late fee on your already high ass car insurance or putting food in the fridge. The stress from all that adds up, fueling substance abuse issues, depression, insomnia, and your health slowly starts to deteriorate from sleep deprivation and improper nutrition because your shitty job barely gives you any time to eat an actual meal or get some quality sleep. You're fighting with your family, roommates, or boyfriend and girlfriend, and it's not because they're terrible people. They could be awesome. It's just the stress from your full-time job that barely covers your basic fucking expenses that you need as a human to stay alive is taking a toll on you. And that's no way to live. Yet many people live through this daily. There are compilation videos you can look up right now. In fact, after this video is over, watch this entire video, by the way. After this video is over, fuck, that sounds so entitled. I really hate that sound if that comes off as entitled, but please watch this video. But look up TikTok inflation compilation videos, and you'll see people of all ages, ethnicities, and backgrounds struggling with exactly what I described. I've been through this and watched my mom go through it as a child. Keep in mind that while all of this is happening, the people who write the policies that could change the circumstances and conditions live lavishly. I'm talking about the Congress people who insider trade. Those Congress people who insider trade, they live lavishly. People who own the buildings that you work hours of your life away in that you will never get back, they live lavishly. The motherfuckers that sign your check, they live lavishly. They don't have to worry about their entire paycheck going to one expense and then scraping by until the next payday. These people, as a matter of fact, benefit from you living through such conditions. You do know that poverty is literally a traumatic experience, right? Especially for children. Find a way out of this 9 to 5 trap. Seriously, this bullshit capitalist system that we're all basically enslaved under doesn't work. It doesn't fucking work. And there isn't a one size fits all solution to this at all. There isn't. But you need to find a way to work for yourself. Seriously. You need to find a way to work for yourself. The most rebellious thing you can do in this bullshit capitalist system is find a way to work for yourself. Find a way that you literally own the means of your own labor. Because that's the most rebellious thing you can do outside of a full-on revolt. And I say there's no one size fits all solution here, because for me, content creation in the online business was the ideal path out for me. For you, it could be working for yourself in a trade. So, for example, if you went to trade school to be a mechanic, you could be a mobile mechanic. And I honestly just suggest doing what truly fulfills you, because look, us Gen Zers, I'm a Gen Z by birth, but at heart I consider myself a millennial, because like I grew up around a lot of millennials. But we were told, go to college, get a good job, and you're set. Or go to the military, or go to trade school. Well, guess what? You go to the military, you can get shipped off to a war, and then come back home disfigured, permanently scarred mentally and physically, and just thrown to the wolves. Like, just left to fend for yourself by the same government that sent you over there to almost die, to see all that fucked up shit that you saw over there. You go to college just to find out that your degree is worthless and you've got like $80,000 in student loan debt that you have to pay back. You go to trade school, and trades aren't doing so hot right now. This system is designed for people to fail. It's the truth. It's a system that's built off of debt and sustained by debt, and that's not a sustainable system, if we're gonna be honest. A system that's built and held up by debt is not a sustainable system. These politicians, they're trying to raise the retirement age, and their shithead propagandists are peddling this narrative that retirement is a stupid concept. Like, we as humans are meant to slave our lives away in an office cubicle or in a factory for some capitalist boss who doesn't give a shit about you, but his money in his share, but fattening his wallet and his shareholders' wallets. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. The human experience is not meant to be lived that way. And because if it were, if the human experience were meant to be lived that way, like working like most of your life away in a factory or in an office cubicle, people who work full-time jobs wouldn't be suffering from substance abuse issues, depression, insomnia, anxiety, all the issues that I listed earlier in the video, sleep deprivation, improper nutrition because their shitty job barely gives them any time to eat or get any quality sleep. You know, these jobs wouldn't try to sabotage unions, whenever people try to unionize. So don't let anyone try to tell you that this is what people are meant to be doing. No, the human experience is meant to be lived. It's a life that's meant to be lived, not you working most of your hours, or not you working most of your life away for some guy who would literally replace you in a week if you died on the job or on the way to work, especially if you're someone who commutes. Because here's where I want to get personal. I've always wanted to work for myself. Like, I used to have aspirations when I was younger of being a millionaire, but as I got older and matured more, I gave less of a shit about money. Like, I don't give a fuck about money now. I don't give a fuck about being a millionaire, and I sure as fuck don't give a shit about being a billionaire, because if you think you can be a billionaire off of grit and gumption and just hard work, bro, no. You could literally work every day from the time when they built the fucking pyramids to now, and you still wouldn't have as much money as Elon Musk. You still fucking wouldn't. Even if you invested, you still fucking wouldn't. You want to know how Elon Musk got his money? You literally want to know? That man has never invented anything on his own, by the way. His dad owned an emerald slave mine in South Africa. That's how most people become billionaires, by exploiting other people. You can become a millionaire by grit, hard work, and gumption, but a billionaire, no, not without some serious human rights violations in some way, shape, or form. Me personally though, I just want financial freedom and independence. I never want to have to rely on a boss for mercy. I never want to have to rely on the mercy of a boss. Commute for $12 an hour, which I've done both, and it fucking sucked. Videos for another day. And I never want to ask for permission to take the day off to attend my own son's school graduations, with the threat of being fired if I'm told no and I do it anyway. Look me in my eyes when I say this. Fuck that shit. Seriously, fuck that shit. I have literally quit every job that I've ever worked. Some of them I walked right out mid-shift and never looked back. Others, I simply just ghosted them. Every job I've worked, I've always noticed coworkers hating the job as much as I did. They just masked it. The higher the positions that some of these people were in, the more miserable they were. Some of them even would self-medicate on the clock. Like this one guy I used to work with. He's my guy. Still friends to this day. But I remember this guy would literally drink Bahama Mamas on the clock because he hated the job that much. He would drink Bahama Mamas on the clock, so he'd be drunk most of this shift, and the shift would basically fly by. Like, I knew 9 to 5s weren't for me and weren't gonna be my thing, but it never really set in until I went to trade school to become a barber. Boy, is this a fucking story, because I hated the experience. I ignored every indicator that it wasn't for me and that I hated it and that I should have left and I should have dropped out, because there were literally days where I would drive to school depressed as fuck. Literally like wanting to turn around, go home and not go back. Days I would go in the bathroom and contemplate packing all my shit in the car, going home and never coming back. Hell, like, man, this is about to get fucking dark right here. But there were days where I literally like contemplated like just like swerving off the side of the fucking road on the way there, because I didn't want to fucking go. I didn't want to fucking be there. Like, I hated that shit so much, but I felt stuck because, like, my stubborn ass, when I start something, my mindset is I'm gonna finish it. But also, I had like the scholarship or whatever that, like, basically if I had dropped out, I would have owed money, and I didn't want to fucking do that, honestly. So I just thugged it out. But when I eventually graduated and got to working in the field, I hated every fucking second of it. I literally remember some days I would be cutting hair, and I'd be watching the clock in between clients. Can't wait until it hits 7 o'clock so I can just get the fuck out and go home. Couldn't fucking wait because I hated it that much. And I guess it took me doing something that I absolutely hated to realize that I left what truly fulfilled me behind. And that's this: content creation. Expressing myself through content creation and online business. Being politically active. That's the shit that really fulfills me. Not fucking cutting hair. I don't give a fuck about hair. Like, if I could go back in time and tell, like, past me, hey, ignore that fucking admissions email and lock it in on YouTube, I would. If I could go back in time and tell my past self, hey, you're going to school depressed a lot. That's your sign that you hate this shit. Drop out and focus on what actually matters to you, because you won't regret it. I would do it. I'm sure there's one of you watching this video right now. I'm pretty sure you watching this video right now. Probably a similar situation. Maybe didn't go to trade school. Maybe went to college and chose a major that you hated. Chose a major that you never really used. Maybe went to college, hated every fucking second of it because, like, your situation could be your parents pressured you into going to college and you didn't want to go to college. You wanted to pursue fucking acting instead. or whatever, or you wanted to pursue music instead, but you were pressured into going to college, hated every second of it, graduated, never got a job in the field that you majored for, and now you're just stuck with this wall decoration, this expensive ass fucking wall decoration that got you like $40,000 plus in debt. Believe me, you're not alone. I'm I'm fortunate enough to not have the student debt like attached to me, but you're not alone in your experience of regret. You're not, because there are plenty of people that fucking hate their. There are plenty of people out here that fucking hate their jobs. Plenty of people out here that fucking went to school for that went to college and majored in something that they absolutely hated or never really pursued after graduation. But shit, I've been talking for 17 minutes. Damn. I didn't even know 17 minutes flew by. That's crazy. I'm probably not even going to edit this video either, but I wanted to get this off my chest because I'm seeing it more and more. Like, I feel like there's going to be a mass movement in the near future. There's going to be a mass movement that's going to be hard for the older generations to ignore, for the boomers and the Gen Xers to ignore. That millennials and Gen Z just aren't doing the traditional 9 to 5 route, no matter what they try to tell us, no matter what they try to say. We aren't doing that. I feel like a mass movement is coming to where a lot of people are going to be ditching the 9 to 5. The typical 9 to 5 is dead in the water. And these motherfuckers just better wake up, because there's a reason why you're seeing a lot of places short staffed. People are realizing that these jobs aren't worth the fuck. I realized it. You clicked on this video, so you realize it too. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you're new. Drop your story in the comment section down below if you have any kind of story that you can relate to. You clicked on this video, so I'm sure you do. And I'll see you in the next video next week. Deuces.